The B.I.G Show with your hosts, Calvin and Garland. The B.I.G Show is a weekly breakdown of the sports world from a fan's perspective. Here are your hosts, Calvin and Garland.
It is the big show.
Boop, 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 boop.
And it's been a couple weeks, but we joining y'all once again. We are live on YouTube right now. We're on all your podcast platforms. And if you have Spotify, when I drop the episode, you'll be able to see our beautiful faces. I'm Calvin, and that's my guy Garland over there. Garland, what's going on? You hit milestones and marriages.
Yeah.
And what's going on? How you doing, man?
You know, brother, been married 34 years. Shout out to the bride of my youth.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
we went on a beautiful trip. Went down to Costa Rica, Guanacaste, Costa Rica. Stayed at the Riu Resort. And man, we had an outstanding time. Was there several days and man, ate plantain every day. Ate, whatever they had out there. Some rice pudding. I can't say the Spanish. I can't. My Spanish is terrible. But man, hung out at the pool, walked on the beach a little bit, got the massage by the pool side. We was balling out for anniversary time, and so a time was had. I did get a little chocolate on me, not as dark as my brother over there, Calvin, but light skin did get a little chocolate on him, but he's still light skinned. And overall, man, just had a good time, and then came back and then ran back out of town for a day and a half and stuff. Ran down to North Carolina for a minute to visit some of Paula's family and all that stuff. And so yeah, man, finally just settled back in, man, working. I was real bright and chippy at work, boy. I had answers. I was just like on top of stuff. Although I did work on Friday when I returned back from Costa Rica, because we got back early Friday morning, like 2 a.m, and I work from home on Fridays. And so I opened the computer and did some work. But people want to know what your boy did. As a matter of fact, they say that there's vacation G, because I put something on TikTok where I had on the bucket hat and the sunglasses. So they say when they see the bucket hat and the sunglasses, that's vacation G. And so, vacation G was in full effect. Bucket hat, sunglasses, nice little cold drinky pool right next to me, little adult beverage and whatnot. So yeah, man, good times. But it was hot here. I mean, y'all had a hot week, but then now we're in fifth winter. So, what about yourself? How was your week?
Yeah, man, it was good. I ain't do much. Of course, had the baby running us around and shit. You know what I mean? Landlord dictating what happens. He took his little scooter out to the park, and we rented some scooters. Man, you know what? I'm gonna talk about them motherfucking scooters too, a little later.
Yo, you got on one of those scooters?
Yeah, man, at the park.
Okay, I want to see a picture.
I have it when they first came out. I was riding them through the city every now and then, just a couple blocks, but I feel more comfortable in the park. I don't trust myself running up and down the street. Hey, man, unlike you, when you on vacation and you coming back, people asking you feeling all chippy and shit. When I was home, when I come back from vacation, I be on this and that and shit. I be all like, this, that bullshit. Soon as I get to the traffic, this, that bullshit. I wish I was back overseas, get to work, and somebody asked me, see, this, that bullshit right here. Like, ain't nobody asked me shit, but if I wanted another drink and shit, you know what I mean? So,
right.
Hey, man, but congratulations on 34 for you and Paul.
Thank you, man. Just we keep on going. 34 more years to go, hopefully. And man, I was 25 when I got married, Calvin. 1992. Woo! My goodness, where did you still have a flat top? Were you just getting out of high school?
1992, I was 2 years out of high school. I think I I went from the flat top. I had the Bobby Brown Gumby my senior year of high school. And then I think by the time 92 came, I was just going with the regular, with the old regular by then. I think I was already
like, oh yes, it's mine. Oh yes, it's my prerogative.
Hey man, I look like Bobby Brown at the time. The girls,
you did. You need to show one of those pictures. Yeah, I'm like, I was look like he about to break out and start doing the Roger Rabbit any minute.
Those are my PT flag days and all, and I was down that bitch doing the Roger Rabbit and the Running Man and all. Man, I could dance back then. Shit, nigga, now I can barely get up to the dance floor.
You straight 2 steps now.
Me 1.5. Because that second step is going back to my seat.
Right. Me go sit down. Man, let's go ahead and jump on into it, man. You know, this is kind of we need to wrap this up because we didn't talk about it a couple weeks ago. But me and Miss Russini, we got a thing going on, allegedly. 2 weeks ago, the New York Post released photos of former athletic NFL reporter Dianna Russini and New England Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel together at an adults-only resort in Sedona, Arizona, in what appeared to be several compromising positions. Russini and Vrabel, who are both married to other people, told the Post that the photos didn't accurately reflect their interaction. The Athletic initially defended Russini publicly, but subsequently faced internal outrage from employees several times and athletic staffers, and they decided to do an inquiry into the nature of her relationship with Vrabel, her NFL coverage, and whether she had lied to the company about the meeting with Vrabel. After they launched this investigation, Russini decided to resign from her position with the Athletic. And so, you know, this has been talked about, Russini, and, you know, obviously there's some double standard here because we've heard nothing about Mike Vrabel. Today I saw something on ESPN. He talked about he had to have some hard conversations with his spouse and his kids or whatever, but he still has a job. But old girl is out, you know, and it reminds me of something I said to you, Calvin, probably a couple weeks ago. I was talking about this preacher came to my church and he was talking about how, you know, smoking is not going to send you to hell, but it just don't look good. And, you know, her being in the pool with Vrabel, it didn't violate anything, but it just didn't look good. You know, it gave off the impression of that your relationship was more than maybe it is. You know, sometimes I know we hate to say, well, you know, people should mind their business. Don't worry about perception or whatever. But, you know, if I'm looking from afar and I see y'all all laid up, I see you at the pool with somebody who's not Katina, I think you might be stepping out. And I don't want to think that. Or, you know, you might see me in a compromising position with somebody else and be like, okay, where Paula at? And so I think sometimes you just have to use better judgment. I mean, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, they did anything. And I think a lot of times when all these insiders have relationships that are really in the gray area because, you know, they're very chummy with a lot of the agents, a lot of the management of these teams. And so that's how they get their information. Maybe they wasn't able to get it like Russini. I mean, she didn't really move the needle. I mean, she was all right, but she was kind of like in the lower 10 of insiders. Now I can see if she was like Adam Schefter and she was getting like the breaking news. She was like breaking the stuff that Adam Schefter was breaking. So obviously he's the ultimate insider. She wasn't inside enough or whatever she was doing. But what did you think about this whole situation?
Yeah, first of all, I need you to come off of vacation mode because you being real diplomatic right now. You know that nigga was fucking Dianna Russini. I don't even know what the fuck you talking about. Well,
bro,
if somebody look at the picture, somebody look at the picture, they just might assume that y'all was nigga. There was no one else around.
If someone was looking at that.
That's how you did. If someone was looking at the picture, like if I saw you in there, I might think that you're stepping out on Katina. Nigga, There was no one else in the picture. Like, they had several pictures and tried to holler it was a resort that everybody was at. Where? There wasn't nobody else in any of them pictures but y'all, and y'all were in the pool next to one another. And then you coming out with statements now. I had to have a hard conversation. You ain't gotta have no hard conversations if you ain't doing shit. What's the hard nigga? Y'all was fucking and you got caught. Like, you know what I mean? And then another thing. See, I thought you was about to break free. Garland, you gotta come home. I thought you was like, she wasn't even in the upper 10. I'm thinking you about to talk about her looks because the bitch ain't bad. But you was all like, she don't get the news like Adam Schefter. Nigga, she ain't getting the news because she is mid. She get the mid news because she mid messing with the mid Patriots coach. Then I even thought you was still about to get it because you was like, well, she's not even an insider. I'm waiting. But Mike Vrabel's an insider. He insider her. You ain't do none of that, yo. You miss all your cues.
Vrabel's inside of her.
You set yourself up to not do anything, bro. Where's Garland? Hello?
I'm still at the resort.
Bro,
I'm about to warm up. Trust me. Give me a little time to warm up.
You know they was fucking. Everybody know they was fucking. You know the only person that might not have known they was fucking?
Who?
Dianna Russini, because she ain't in the top 10. She ain't used to getting breaking news. She not used to it. So she might not even realize that they was fucking. And then once she realized they was fucking, she was like, yeah, I'm going to have to leave the Athletic. First of all, you leaving the Athletic is like me leaving McDonald's. No one cares. You ain't on ESPN. You ain't on Fox. You're not. The Athletic is okay, but it's more of a journal. It's for journalists.
It's like it's a newspaper.
It's a publication.
It's a publication. It's a website.
It's not television. So it's not like you're going to be missed. Like I don't remember any hard hitting pieces from Dianna Russini.
She was doing a lot of inside work, Calvin.
The only thing that was hitting hard was Mike Vrabel busting that Russini ass.
She's having her insides worked on.
You try to be all different. Like, you know they was fucking. I mean, come on, y'all.
I'm trying to save,
Nigga said, you said allegedly.
I'm trying. Look, B.I.G. lawyer said that we do not have proof. Step lightly. I ain't trying to get no defamation suits, just like your boy Cash Patel is suing everybody and stuff because they said he was a drunk boy. But you gotta. I'm trying to be responsible.
Cash Patel can barely see. You seen his eyes? Who trusts that? Nobody trusts that nigga.
Donald Trump did.
Donald Trump barely trusts that nigga. He was just the next one in line to listen to whatever the fuck Donald Trump said.
He'd be looking at Cash. He'd be like. He say something, he'd be like, you ain't gonna answer. I'm like, are you talking to me? I couldn't tell because I was over here. I didn't know you looking at the person over here or you were looking at me. You're looking at me? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Cash Patel eyes are so far off and shit. He started cheering for the hockey thing. He thought it was the Miracle on Ice. He was like, yeah, we beat Russia.
Right.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes.
You know what Cash Patel needs to do? He needs to do like Music Soul Child did and get those dark sunglasses and just wear dark sunglasses all the time. Remember, did Music Soul Child ever come by the radio station when you worked there?
No, he was well after.
He was well after. Yeah. Whenever you see Music Soul Child, he got on sunglasses because when he take them off, his eyes look like Cash Patel's.
Yeah, I was there with Sticky Fingers. Now, Sticky Fingers' ass didn't know if he was in downtown Baltimore or DC the way his eyes was looking. But it's funny you said that about Music Soul Child because now that's my new thing with Cash Patel. You know, when you buy headlights for your car, you got to change both of them because if you change change just one, the other one's going to look dim. And I used to say it would look like Music Soul Child. Now
Right.
your car looks like Cash Patel with one dim
Cash
headlight
Patel.
and one bright headlight. So you got to buy two. That's just a pro tip. If you buy headlights, buy two. Buy two bulbs or two
Right.
units, whatever your car takes.
Cash Patel. Yo, he
Anyway,
got the Cash
Dianna
Patel.
Russini and Mike Vrabel are fucking. Okay, they may not be anymore because they got caught, but they were fucking. And he did get something from her. I think he got her vote for Coach of the Year. Who else was she going to vote for?
That's the terrible thing. I think that's the worst thing about this, that they went back and looked at her whole record of reporting on Vrabel. That's the worst thing about the internet. Like, you do something bad, people gonna go back like 10, 20 years in your posting history to look at what the things you said. And yeah.
I wish the fuck I would be laying some dick down, and then when Coach of the Year vote come, she vote for another nigga. I'd be like, yo.
She gave her one vote to John Harbaugh.
My dick must be trash, nigga.
So I'm gonna give this to Raheem Morris. He deserves this for. Yeah, man. Let's now. Here's another song. I got a couple song leadoffs today. Secret lovers. That's what we're not. Everybody knows we're lovers. Your boy, your girl, Azzi and Paige, lovers and teammates. Now, on last Tuesday, and I was in Costa Rica for this one. I saw it and I started scratching my head. The WNBA held its draft in New York, and Azzi Fudd was selected number 1 overall by the Dallas Wings. Fudd played for UConn and was a member of their last championship team in 2025. But it wasn't her ranking as one of the best women's college players that has become an area of focus, Calvin. It's Fudd is in a romantic relationship with former UConn teammate Paige Buckers, the Wings' number 1 pick from last season. Now, at Fudd's introductory press conference, she was asked by Kevin Sherrington of the Dallas Morning News. He said, Paige, yeah, Paige announced last year on TikTok that y'all were a couple. I'm wondering if that's still the case. And if so, have you talked to other couples in the league about how they negotiate that dynamic? And before Fudd could even respond to that question, a public relations staffer for the Wings chimed in and let the reporter know that any and all personal questions are off limits. Now, should Fudd have to answer questions about her personal relationship with Buckers, or is that too personal?
So we talked about this a while ago when the WNBA was complaining about not getting the type of money that the NBA gets and the exposure and all. Once you start getting that, you're open and subject to all of the questions under the sun. If you want to be treated like a professional athlete, you're going to be treated like a professional athlete. Now, granted, athletes aren't asked if they're having a relationship because that's not usually exposed. But if you exposed it, then that's a legitimate question. Now, to answer your question directly, should she have to answer it? She has the ability to be up there and say no comment. I don't want to answer it. That's what athletes do. But I think when Dallas stepped in, they just made it a little strange. They made it a little weird. Like, oh, you shouldn't be asking these women that. You can't be a reporter and go into these questions with kid gloves on. Like, you cannot coddle these questions and these athletes because they are professional athletes. She's no longer a college player. And even in college, they're getting their NIL money. But she is a professional paid athlete. Not only that, she's the number 1 pick. So she's going to be the subject of a lot of difficult questions depending on her life and how her career goes. I mean, it's up to her whether she wants to answer them. She doesn't need the basketball team to be her parents. You know, there are certain things you might want to protect her from, but if that's the case, then you either don't bring her out for the interview or you try to make the announcement earlier that we're not going to answer any personal questions. And even if they ask, she can just say, "Hey, I'm not." And she may have said that they didn't give her a chance to say it.
Sure,
But
sure.
I'm all about, they're professional athletes, they're adults. They're subject to whatever questions. And he didn't ask it in a disrespectful manner. It would
He
be
did.
different if he was like, we've heard about Dianna Russini fucking Mike Vrabel. Are you and Paige Becker still fucking? That's a little disrespectful, but he said like that.
Right.
You know what I
Who wears
mean?
the strap? I'm curious. Who wears the strap in the
Exactly.
relationship?
He wasn't being a dick
Or y'all
about it.
just scissoring? Y'all not using
He
the
was
strap?
and he was asking a legit question that I'm sure other people are wondering. And if you're a fan of that team and you know that they have a relationship, the fan, you and I, who are
Right.
not necessarily fans of the Wings, may not have really cared, but the fans of that team might actually care, might want to know. So I mean, I don't see the issue. I think they made it a little more awkward than it had to be. Just give her the ability to say no comment or answer it if she wants to, because we had the Brittany Griner situation. She was seeing one of her teammates. We just had, I believe it was Dejanay Carrington and
Yeah.
one of the
One of
other
the other
girls,
kids from
their
another team.
relationship. Then we just had
Alyssa Thomas and Dewanna Bonner. Remember last year
exactly.
they were getting married?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
we just had the situation where the pro ball player, the NFL player, was seeing the basketball player, and she had to put a restraining order out on her.
Right.
So these are real life situations that are being reported. So, okay, he asked the question. Next.
Hey, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they made it public. And that's one of the
Yeah.
things about social media now. And I had to learn that after a couple years after it came out. We put all of our life on social media for the world to see. I mean, they put all of this out on social media. I mean, this was a known secret that they were a couple. I mean, it was all over, I think the All-Star game last year, she was there at the All-Star game with Paige and all that stuff. So yeah, it was well known that they were in a relationship. And so I think, that opens it up for question. That opens it up for dialogue.
Yeah.
How's this going to work? And for me, I guess Calvin, when I saw that she was drafted by the Wings, it kind of really threw me off knowing that they're in a relationship, because it reminded me of something when I was young in the workplace. I had an older person tell me, you don't shit where you eat. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, yeah, you have to watch out for relationships in the workplace,
Mhm.
because sometimes they don't always end well. I've never seen one end well. And when they end, it gets very, very, very messy. And so I'm thinking, like, Dallas, why would you draft Azzi Fudd knowing that she's in a relationship with Paige Buckers, and that dynamic, you're going to have to deal with that dynamic for not only this season but coming seasons. What if that relationship does end? How does that impact the team? How does that impact the relationship between players? I'm going to tell you the first thing that's going to happen, Calvin. Let them get in the big game. And I think they got Enrique Ogumake on that team as well. She's very good. It's going to come down to Enrique ain't going to get some shots in the game. They're going to be like, Enrique, do you think you're not getting shots because Azzi's only passing the ball to Paige? They're going to have to deal with this question. Or Paige, why didn't you pass it to AZ in the final seconds, or this, that, and the other? Are y'all still together? Is it working? Y'all chemistry don't look good on the court. That's always going to be a question now, every game that they play. And I think they just would have did better of drafting another player, knowing that these two players are in a relationship. It just it in the workplace, we've had this ethical training of, you're not supposed to sleep with your superior or the people that you're supervising. It just causes a gray area. And if y'all having a relationship in the workplace, and people will start to feel that's going to impact how you play as a team. And so I did not particularly think they should have drafted her, but since you did, you should have been prepared for that question.
Yeah.
You should have been prepared her to answer it, to discuss it, because hopefully you had all of this discussion in the pre-draft evaluation that, hey, they're in a relationship, and how's this going to impact our team as we go forward. And we're going to be on the national stage. We got two of the best, or three of the best women players in the world on this team. And so we're going to have national games. We're going to have people talking about this. We should be prepared for it. And I think they definitely failed that. We were joking about this last year. I was saying, I'm waiting for the NBA to come out with what two guys are going to come out in the NBA and say, this my man, and we getting married, because we just seeing it in the women's sports. But I'm sure that probably relationships like this exist on the men's side as well.
It's not widely accepted. Let me tell you, I also think, and briefly I talked about this in the chat, I also think the WNBA will eventually make the shift, but I still think they're in the mode where, yeah, we want to win, but they need to fill seats. They want to make sure the seats are filled. So when you're looking at a draft that drafts an AZ Fudd with Paige Beckers, they're like, oh, we got that UConn connection. Come see these teammates that are best friends. They're dating. They're the UConn connection. Come and see that. If you look at the Indiana Fever drafting Raven Johnson, oh, Caitlin Clark really cold-shouldered her, which made her rise to the top. Now they're playing together. Come see them unify. You know what I mean? I think the WNBA are still kind of in that entertainment mode.
Let's get butts in the seat.
Let's get people in the seat, because these are interesting storylines, as opposed to these are great players. Because if you look at the WNBA now, you don't have those. Well, you do still have them with the Angel Reeses, Caitlin Clarks, Asia Wilson, a few of them. But remember, they were, I don't want to say anomalies, but they were far few in between when you had the super teams like the Sparks that had Lisa Leslie, when you had the Houston Comets that had Tina Thompson and Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper. You know what I mean? So they were super teams. The New York Liberty, when they had Teaspoon, teams that were stalwarts. They don't have those teams anymore. But now you got these individual players being a little more spread out on these different teams, but you got to try to find a way to fill these seats. So the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball. Well, Major League Baseball actually kind of had that problem, but these professional sports don't really have that problem. They're trying to sell not just the players, but they're trying to sell the teams. Where I think the WNBA now are still trying to sell storylines. That's just my opinion, but I think they're really going for more storylines. But they're going to have to eventually make that shift, because these girls are getting better, and these teams are getting better, and the games are being more entertaining.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll probably hear from AZ as they get into the season, because that's probably not going to be last time that question is asked. I'm sure we're going to probably see, who carries the women's game, ESPN. So we're probably going to see a sit down with one of the women reporters on ESPN.
Or something.
Yeah. So
she's going to smack her in the butt. Good job, girl. Smack in the butt or pinch your nipple.
Right.
Let me stop. Let me stop.
They're going to scissor during the timeout.
This is exactly why the views expressed are that. Well, no, I guess they're kind of both. They just jokes.
Don't put the disclaimer on me. You just said she's gonna squeeze.
I ain't say scissoring.
Yeah, but you said she's gonna squeeze a nipple. Go put the scissoring on me. We want to pull out the disclaimer. Ain't that a mess? Anyway, man, the NBA playoffs are going on. Top seeds in the West won their opening games. We did see an upset. I think it was yesterday. The Magic upset the Pistons at home, and The Warriors, man, our team, they've been struggling. Well, not our team, because your team is the Lakers, but my team, the Warriors, they've been struggling. They lost the playing game. Although they did beat the Clippers, they lost the playing game for the AFC to the Suns. They would have got blown out by OKC anyway. That was the reward for the Suns, that they get OKC. This is the Warriors' third consecutive year in the play-in. They did a little bit better last year, but they haven't gone far. Should the Warriors retain Steve Kerr, or is it time for new leadership?
Yeah, man, it might be the end of that dynasty. Even Steve Kerr, in his, I guess you want to call it a parting speech on the game, was, I don't know what's going to happen, but I love you guys. I love y'all. I love y'all. We all thought that dynasty would effectively end when Klay Thompson was traded. And although they didn't make it to the promised land, they were still a viable contender without Klay. But yeah, man, it might be, I don't know, it might be the end of that era. It might
Nobody
be the
can
end of
stay healthy. I mean,
right.
you had, Steph missed a significant amount of games, and then you had Jimmy Butler go out for the season. They had to go get the unicorn. He really didn't play a whole bunch of games. And Draymond is Draymond, but that's not enough there. And yeah, it's unfortunate that they're kind of limping this way. I really wish they go out and get Giannis. Giannis. I I, I don't want to leave Milwaukee, but I still. So Giannis, it's funny. He got a commercial and he sounds just like that. But
no,
Giannis,
no,
I think he would be. Giannis not Giannis not going to LA. So I think Giannis would be great. He could bring his brothers out there to the Warriors with him. And they could be on the bench or whatever, and he can go ahead and do his thing and maybe get another ring. But speaking about Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks fired Doc Rivers after 3 seasons. Doc went 97 and 103 during his 3 seasons there, with 2 first-round playoff exits and missing the postseason and play-in tournament this year. This is the 4th team that Doc has underperformed with: the Clippers, the Bucks, and the Sixers. Although he has won 1 NBA title with the Celtics. And Calvin, we always talk about overrated coaches with 1 championship win, 1 title win. We know that Doc is at the top of the list for this. But I pulled out a couple names. I want to get your opinions on this. These are, in my opinion, overrated coaches with 1 championship win. We kind of put them up on the pedestal, but maybe they really shouldn't be there. All right, number 1, and I know you will agree with this, our boy John Harbaugh. 180 wins. He won 61% of his games, but he only had 1 Super Bowl. Overrated, or, we should put him. I know you said he's a Hall of Famer. But we always say this is one person who's gotten so much mileage out of 1 Super Bowl win. Yeah. I think John Harbaugh is the NFL equivalent of Doc Rivers.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. I will say that John, I agree that he's gotten so much mileage out of that 1 Super Bowl. Maybe slightly overrated, but if you're a Hall of Famer, you can't be overrated. I
mean, Doc's in the Hall of Fame.
I'm going to say not overrated for John Harbaugh. Not overrated.
Okay. John Gruden, 117 wins.
Overrated.
He only won 51% of his
overrated
games,
and he has over 1
Super Bowl. Over racist. He has 1 Super Bowl win with Tampa, which was basically Tony Dungy's team.
Yeah, and let me say it in a way that Gruden will understand. Slot right, nickel blue down, jiggle jiggle, overrated.
Okay, I agree with you. He's just a lot of bluster. I mean, he didn't do a whole bunch in Oakland in both tenures, and he did. He basically cherry picked that next job. He got to Tampa. He won that Super Bowl that first year, and then after that, they didn't even really were in contention after that. So I agree with you. A little overrated. This is going to be a discussion. John Madden. John Madden won 103 games as a head coach. He had a 75% win percentage, but he only won 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I mean, now we do have to separate him from the video game and
From
from
the
his
video game, if
broadcast
yeah.
career.
Now for your generations after that, they probably more connected through the video game and the
Yeah,
color
yeah.
commentator.
But as a NFL professional coach, if you win 75% of your games, you are not overrated.
Yeah, John Madden had the unfortunate pleasure of coaching during the Steelers dynasty. It was usually it's either the
Hmm.
Steelers or the Dolphins in the Super Bowl every year, and it was Dallas in Minnesota. And so, yeah, he had the unfortunate misfortune of coaching during that Steelers dynasty, where you basically had maybe four to six power teams that pretty much were in it every year. I mean, and they did well, but they lost a lot of those playoff games to Pittsburgh or they lost to Miami. They did able to break through one year and they beat Minnesota. And I was a big Minnesota fan at that time, and broke my little heart for Ann Tarkenton and the Purple People Eaters. All right, let's go ahead, man. Start talking about this NFL draft.
You
Draft
you
is
you forgot one. You
go
forgot
ahead.
one. That he connected at the hip with John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, we should. I forgot to put old boy in there, Mike Tomlin. You know what? While we sitting here, let me go ahead and look up my. I wouldn't disrespect Tomlin because Tomlin to me, he's a winner. I mean, 19 seasons, 193, 114, and two. He been to two Super Bowls. John Harbaugh only went to one. He lost one and he won one. So, you know, um, I would say that he was not overrated.
I put him in the same category as John. Not overrated. I think they're
Okay.
both Hall of Fame coaches. Winning percentage does matter when you're talking about overrating and all, and I don't think either one are overrated.
Yeah. His playoff record wasn't all that sterling. I mean, 8-12 regular season. That's where he really shined. He had a 62%, 63% win percentage. He did tie Chuck Noll for the most wins in Steeler history, and he's ninth all time in NFL history. And so,
Never had a season below 500.
yeah, no losing seasons. So I agree with you. I mean, I put Harbaugh in overrated, but I don't think Tomlin's overrated. To Harbaugh inherited Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, John Ogden, Todd Heap, a whole bunch of great players, and
Yeah,
they
that
had a
was
great. He
that
started
was
that
the
5 years. That 5 years was a beast. He started
I was
that
about to
5 year
say that's
run
the
as a beast.
beginning of his
Yeah,
tenure. After they were gone, he still had a whole nother career behind that, man.
yeah,
Come
and that
on.
and that career was up
I don't
and
like I
down.
don't like John. I don't
Uh
like John, but he's not
huh.
overrated, man.
Okay.
He's not overrated.
Well,
He ain't all that.
all right. The
Like we were
NFL.
saying, we would say
No,
that he
no,
ain't all that.
ain't all that. He all right. The Thursday night in Pittsburgh, the Ravens hold the 14th pick in the first round after they backed out of the trade for Max Crosby earlier this month or about a month ago. Several players have been mocked to the Ravens at this pick. You have Vega, Ione, the guard from Penn State, ESPN and Ringer. Both have him going to the Ravens. Ruben Bain, edge rusher from Miami. Todd McShay has him going to the Ravens. Spencer Fano, offensive lineman with Utah. Mel Kiper has him going to the Ravens. He's very versatile. He can play tackle and center. That's what particularly Kiper said makes him attractive because they do have to replace Lindenbaum. And Kenyon Sadiq, tight end for Oregon. Very good tight end. He's being projected in the first round. A couple people have him slide into the Ravens. And so, where's the Ravens' biggest need, and who would you like to see them take with the first pick?
So the biggest need is either offensive or defensive line when it comes to a top pick. I would like to see Bain fall to them. I think we all would. It would give us a potentially elite pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I'm looking at the tackle. It's so difficult, and I if you were on the chat, we were talking about who the Ravens could pick, and I heard a great point where it's so difficult to get you a premier tackle in the NFL nowadays,
Sure.
whether it's through the draft or in free agency, because it just doesn't happen. Although you're going to have to pay them money after their rookie deal, if you can get you a premier one, that's what you got to draft. So if one of those tackles, was his name Fona or the other guy
I
for
know.
Alabama, if one of them falls to
Proctor,
the
Caden Proctor.
yeah, if one of them falls to the Ravens, I think they should get that. Of course, it's going to be Bain. The sexy pick, I think, is the tight end. I just don't think, although I would want him, I don't think the Ravens need him. The Ravens draft tight ends very, very well
They
throughout the
do well.
history of the organization. They always seem to find great tight end talent in the later rounds. The last time they drafted that first round tight end was the guy that came with Lamar, long hair, Hayden Hurst, and he
Yes.
didn't work out well with the. He had a decent career, but he didn't work out well with one team,
Well, you know
So
who their third round pick was in that draft as well?
it was Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews. Yes.
Mark Andrews. So that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. They draft well in tight end. So I don't think they necessarily need to stretch out for that first round tight end.
Okay.
Although that would be everybody likes that flashy pick. I just don't think they need to do that. I'm looking at tackle or that edge rusher if they can get it.
I do believe they got to protect Lamar. They got to address that line, the line. And I was saying to someone probably a couple weeks ago that I think one of the things we overlooked about the Ravens over these last two seasons was that line was not as great as we thought it was. The offensive line, they lost the line coach the 2 seasons ago. That had a major impact. They wound up having to play Falale. I think really was going to use him as a project and get him ready. Rosengarten, he was a rookie, starting on the right side. He struggled a lot. I mean, they were 1-2 to start that season off, and they couldn't run the ball. They couldn't really do anything. And then it all came together, and we kind of forgot about it once we saw Derrick Henry running over people, and the offense got clicking. We kind of forgot that. And then they came into last season, and kind of almost the same thing happened. They just struggled up the middle. They lost Makari to the Jaguars, and it just showed that they really were struggling in the line. And I really would love to see them either get the guard from Penn State or the tackle from Utah. I think that would be great. If Bain is there at 14, you run to the
You got to
podium.
take them.
You
Yeah,
got
you
to
got.
take them. You got to take there, that's great because they need pass rush. I saw a statistic on the TV this morning. The Ravens were 28th in sacks this past season with only 30. You've got to get pressure on the quarterback. And yes, I know they got Hendrickson. They did draft Green next last year, but he's going to have another year under his belt. But that's a lot of work. He's going to have a lot of work to improve that. I know they got Rob and so but these are not household names. These are not people that are top tier rushers really. And getting Bain I think would be great as well, also with the possibility that is being reported today that they're expecting Matabike to be ready for the regular season after having surgery on his neck. And so if they had Bain and Matabike and Hendrickson and Travis Jones on that line, I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very happy. You don't have to do a lot of blitzing. This really fits into Mentor's system where you're not having to send a lot of linebackers. You can drop linemen out into coverage and all those things. And I think it works for them schematically. I agree with you. They don't need a tight. Sadiq is sexy. He's a big, strong boy, runs with
Pause.
the wind. And
Pause. You were supposed
uh,
to say he's a sexy pick, not he's.
you know what I meant. He's a sexy pick. Okay, I'm sorry. Pause. He's a sexy pick. I remember seeing him against Penn State last year. That's the game that really jumped out to me. He did some major work in that game, and yeah, he would be the sexy pick there. But like you said, they've had a history of finding tight ends in later rounds. Mark Andrews, Charlie Kolar. and Isaiah Likely were all third round and below picks. And so, and they did well.
And they could still sign
yeah.
Njoku.
You are dying to get Njoku on this team.
Yeah, I'm man. They should get
they
should sign
you
David
are
Njoku.
dying to get Njoku on this team. That's all Calvin been talking about ever since he was free agent and he came here and visited.
They should sign David Njoku. They really should.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. And so, yeah, I agree with you. The first is interior offensive line. If Bain's there, then you go ahead and take Baines. I would like to see that. The Bengals, they traded their first round pick, 10th overall, to the Giants for defensive lineman Dexter Lawrence, who cut off negotiations for an extended deal with the Giants. Does this put the Bengals at the top of the AFC North?
At the top for what? Because they got a guy with a half a sack last year.
They got to. Hey, but 3 years ago, he was an all-pro. He had a whole bunch of sacks. He gets double teamed a lot 2 years ago. But hey, the last 2 years haven't been that great. But he's out of New York, so everything from New York is great.
They traded a top 10 pick for this guy. I don't know.
As a Ravens fan, if you like it, I love it. And so, rock out Bengals. If you like it, I love it. But I would say,
and they only signed him to a 1-year extension.
He already had 2 years left on the deal, so they have him at least 3. But he wanted more money. He thought he was going to get more money from the Bengals. They don't like to pay players. That's why we got Trey Hendrickson, because they don't want to pay players.
I don't know.
I would say this.
I don't know Cincinnati.
I was having this discussion on Facebook with a friend from college. He's Cincinnati. He's from Cincinnati. He's a Bengals fan. And I was saying it didn't make much sense because with the 10th pick, you at least would have control for 4 or 5 years of that contract. I said, they're not going to give Lawrence big money. At most, you might have him 2 seasons. At most, even with that extension. And you could have controlled the 10th round pick for several years. To me, it wasn't a great pick, but hey, rock out.
They did the opposite of what the Ravens did with Max Crosby. They did the opposite. The Ravens saw a flag and was like, I think not. He might not be around long enough for us to justify these 2 first-round picks. Right. And I mean, I'm with you. If they like it, I love it.
If they like it, I love it. Hey, we mentioned Mike Tomlin earlier. He's replacing Tony Dungy on NBC's Football Night in America. So congratulations to Mike Tomlin. He'll be one of the new studio guys there, probably just for the season, and somebody will scoop him up to coach their team in 2026.
The standard is the standard.
Right. We don't care. So somebody will be snatching them up very, very, very soon. Hey, man, they announced the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. Are you a Phil Collins fan? Does he qualify as Yacht Rock?
He does qualify as Yacht Rock. He was Genesis and then he went solo. He does qualify highly as Yacht Rock. I don't want to say a fan, but I'm familiar with Phil Collins and I didn't dislike his music.
Okay. What about Billy Idol?
He is punk rock, more rock.
Yes.
Excuse me. I will say I don't hate his music.
I'm not necessarily a fan.
Rebel yell, white. It's a nice time for a white wedding.
Right.
Yeah, I know Billy Idol music also.
Y'all, he playing. He know that catalog.
I
know you do. Also, a couple other white artists we don't really know: Oasis, Iron Maiden.
Who don't know Iron Maiden?
I don't know no Iron Maiden songs.
How many Iron Maiden T-shirts you see walking around?
I see black people with them on, and black people on with them now. Like
that's heavy metal.
You don't know an Iron Maiden song. If I had $1 million to give to you,
I'm not a big heavy metal fan.
You ever heard of New Order, Joy Division, New Order?
I have not. No, okay. I don't know them.
Well, let's concentrate on the black acts: Sade, Dandross, and Wu-Tang.
Man.
What's your favorite Sade song?
Well, first of all, let's talk about what's my favorite Sade look. Any of them.
Yeah.
Hi, Sadie. How you doing, Sadie?
Man. Man.
Let me see. Is it a crime?
Right. Kiss of Life is mine. Yeah. She's Sade. I'm sorry that I missed her when she was on tour several years ago. She came to Baltimore. I wish I would have. When your icons come in, they don't tour often. You gotta get out and see them because they might not come back again. Luther Vandross. Now did you like skinny Luther or fat Luther with the curl?
So I'm gonna be honest, everybody is like, we like big Luther better than skinny. Luther music is timeless, man. He made some good songs when he was skinny, and a lot of us can't even determine which ones he made when, because when he went in concert, he sang them all. You ever seen Luther in concert?
No, I never saw
Precision.
Luther.
I saw him on the tour with En Vogue before they fell
Oh,
out.
okay,
They
yeah, before
came to
they fell out.
Baltimore. I saw them then. That was back in the mid 90s, I
Right.
think it was. So I did get to see Luther. Congratulations to Luther.
Yeah, I thought, did you get a chance to see his documentary?
I did not know.
No, it was a good movie. Luther was, quote unquote, a tortured soul. He was closeted gay man, and the feelings of I guess shame and different things like that of sharing that with the public. Some people were chiding him like, you should be able to share that, but he wanted to stay private, which was his own, choice. And so, but he was a outstanding. I didn't realize vocally, his work. He did a lot of commercial work. He did a lot of, different things like that. He was very big in that industry as well, as a ranger, working with David Bowie and a whole bunch of artists. So, Luther was not just the things that he did. Definitely. I think the song with Gregory Hines, that's one of my favorite songs. There's Nothing Better Than Love. Great Luther song. And Wu-Tang.
From the movie White Knights.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Wu-Tang. Any favorite Wu-Tang song?
I gotta admit, now I don't dislike Wu-Tang. I gotta admit, I'm not a Wu-Tang head like everyone else is. But there are I couldn't go word for word, but I do like some cuts that I hear from their first album.
Sure.
My favorite at the time was Machine Gun Rap for all the niggas in the back. At the time, that was my favorite.
Right. I had to say, like, they were here last summer. And so they opened their tour here, and people like, you're not going to see Wu. I did like Wu. I loved the first album, but I was not a big enough fan to spend money to go see Wu. And all the females was just there to see Meth anyway. They don't know nothing from Ghostface Killer's album or from Raekwon's album from the Purple Tape. And so y'all just fans of Meth. Y'all not necessarily fans of Wu. But Cream, of course. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to F with. Method Man, Protect Your Neck. These are songs from mostly the first album. Bring the Ruckus, Shame on a Nigga. Those were great albums. I think, really they only had two great albums, and the other one was Wu-Tang Forever, which they had Reunited on there, Triumph. But Wu, shout out to RZA and Jizza, You God, Inspector Deck, Meth, Ghostface, Ray. They definitely, and I think their solo things, I probably love their solo work more than I love the group
solo
stuff
work
in ODB.
The solo work is where I come in. When you got Method, when you got Raekwon, that's I'm more into the solo work than the whole group work.
Yeah, the Purple Tape was that was the thing right there back in the day. All right, man. We're at the point that everybody loves. Come on, yo. You got to come on, yo, for the people.
Yeah, man, I actually got two of them. They real short. I mentioned earlier I'm gonna talk about these scooters. So the kid is on his little scooter, and the grandkid, and we see the little scooters and the thing. Like, let's get on these Lime scooters. Bro, we rode the scooter with the kid for maybe 15 minutes, pausing here to stop at the playground, then getting back to go get some snowballs. Do you know scooter ride for it's like almost $1 an hour? It feels like it was like $12. Wow. I was like, I could have caught the bus to these little spots inside the park for less than that. Could have got me a damn day pass. The the fuck, man? Fuck Lime.
Right.
Fuck these scooters. I will walk from now on. First of all, it's safer anyway because people just be in your way and you ain't got no horn. You just got the little jing jing and they turn around thinking it's ice cream and shit. Fuck out my way, little nigga. You know what I mean? And my second, oh, well, come on, Lime. Fuck out of here with these high ass rates. My second, come on, yo, is for the Baltimore Orioles. Why even play the first through the fifth, sixth, seventh inning? Why?
Yeah, y'all stop.
Why?
Y'all be no hit through 8 3/4. And then all of a sudden in the ninth inning, y'all hitting grand slams.
I don't understand why I even torture myself the first few innings because we sit there and we be talking bad about these niggas can't hit.
Right.
Who the fuck is he?
That's what I text last night. These guys can't hit.
Who the fuck is he? Why is he even in the lineup? Where the fuck is Adley at? When we cussing him out all of a sudden, they wait till 2 outs in the top of the ninth inning, 1 strike away from ending the game. Here they tie the game and they take off. They showed a bad beat. You know the bad beats when you bet the over under. So a lot of people bet the under at 9 runs. And if you were watching the game in the ninth inning, 2 outs, 2 strikes, it was only 1 run scored. You just knew you had it. They even went into extra innings. You knew you had it. When the Orioles hit the grand slam, you knew you had it until the motherfucking Royals had bases loaded, no outs, and scored 3 runs on the next hit. And that was a bad beat. A lot of people probably crumbled on that in the 12th inning.
Yeah, they're killing me. They are killing me.
Yeah, it's I'm not even going to start watching, y'all. Till once I see the 7th inning, then the game will begin for me. That's when I'll start watching.
Come on, Delta Airlines. Now Delta, this is like, I don't usually fly Delta. I usually fly Southwest. Not that Southwest is a whole bunch better. It was just cheaper.
Definitely not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. And so we flew Delta to Costa Rica. And can y'all give us a whole can of soda? What's the thing about the little soda thing? What's up with that? Can y'all, on a 4-hour flight, can y'all have more than just these dry Biscoff cookies and some chips? Can I have like a little sandwich or something? Something, a little choice, a little something to snack on besides these dry cookies, and y'all only gave us a half a cup of soda? Half of it's fizzing away. Most of it got foam on it. Come on, Delta. Don't do that, Delta. I mean, yes, y'all had the nice little in-movie package and everything. Y'all give out the earphones. I had the little screen, whatnot. Although my screen did not work on the way to on the way to Costa Rica, which was a 4-hour flight. So I had to wind up trying to find another seat to watch Christy. That's a good movie about Christy Martin, the boxer. You get an opportunity to take a watch. So on HBO, it's running on HBO right now. But yo, can y'all, especially on the long flights? Now I understand we flew down to Atlanta. That's like going to DC or something. That's going up in the air. As soon as you get up in the air, you're coming right back down. So no, I'm not expecting a whole can of soda on the flight from Atlanta to Baltimore or Baltimore to Atlanta. But on the one where we're going across international waters and we changing time zones, yeah, yo, can we get a sandwich, please? For you fat guys, can we get a sandwich, please? More than just some dry cookies and some sun chips. All right.
I was about to say this had to be the fattest come on yo that we've had in history. But now I will let me defend the airline slightly on this one.
Okay.
They will give you the whole can if you ask for it. But because
they don't advertise that though.
Well, because of the cans that are trash and all that, they'll only pour you half, and then they'll pour the half on another one. But if you say, "Can I have the whole can?" they'll give you the whole can. And if you buy beer or anything, they will give you the whole can because they can.
They're gonna give you the whole can.
Yeah, they'll give you the whole can, but they will give you that. I do agree with the sandwiches. You got to fly them. It's only on those international flights that seem to go across the pond, across the Atlantic or something like that, where you get meals. Yeah. Right. So, but I agree with you on that. You used to be able, I remember one time I flew to Austin and had a full, and this was back in the 90s, had a full plate, and they brought me the plate bag and everything. But it was back in the 90s. So, you know, that was a long time ago. And come on, yo, to the Orioles again, because this didn't age well. They just hit a 3-run home run in the second inning. Now they're up 3-0. See, this is what the fuck I'm talking about, Baltimore.
They're schizophrenic.
Y'all just don't give a fuck about us. You know what I mean? Now, first we planned to watch you, but now we feel like, well, shit, we can go out and, you know, do some other things, you know, maybe go
grab some dinner,
get a little sex from the wife or something, you know what I mean? And then go back and watch the game. But now y'all done hit a 3-run home run. You know what I mean?
I'm on the pitch clock on that one. You gotta hurry up and get them pitches in so I can get back to the game. Don't want to be called with a ball, automatic ball.
There he is. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hey man, I'm glad you made it back before the end of the podcast. I was getting a little worried over here.
Sorry, I'm still on Costa Rica, Tom. I'm sorry.
A little soft over there and everything. I was like, what the fuck? Then my man even said, you know, Sadiq is sexy. Like, where's Garland? What have you done with my homeboy?
I can't wait for Jay to hear this. Garland, did you call another man sexy?
Yo, just the one liner, yo, just came out with it. Just came out. You know how Riverside will do some clips. I'm gonna go through the clips, and they better not be one that say Sadiq is sexy.
Sadiq is sexy.
Hey man, another good podcast. Glad you made it back. Once again, happy anniversary to you and Paula.
Thank you.
That is a milestone, and y'all keep making milestones because last year was a milestone. So keep on keeping on. Best of luck and love to both of you, man.
Thank you, bro.
Hey, if so y'all can hear me, but I can't hear y'all because my damn headset came out. But if we are live on YouTube right now, if you do have we'll be on all the podcast platforms, and if you have Spotify, you will get to see our beautiful faces and Garland finally make it back to the podcast before it was over at the end. Anything you want to say to the people as we roll out, Garland?
Hey man, let's get through this last winter of the spring, and then we'll be in summer. So hold on. You have been listening to the B.I.G. Show. This show was produced and written by Calvin Coates and Garland Thomas for All Things Black Production.
That shit pisses
Follow
me
us on all of your
I
got 10 seconds for this pump. Let me hurry up and get this pump before a ball is called on me.
Later, man.